But when it comes to a channel like this, it's just about sharing from the heart and sharing what's real. And what's real is I recently created I called it an energetic boo-boo for myself. And by sharing these things, I hope to give you guys something to relate to when you're on your journeys and when you're going through your own challenges. And you can see how we're all really the same in so many ways. We might have different perspectives and different ways of channeling, the source through us and how we share, and we might have different specific challenges, but really it's all one movement towards awakening. And we're all very powerful mirrors and reflections of each other. So I think sharing right now when it's fresh, when I'm working through the shadow, is really helpful for this channel's purpose, which is service to the One, service to God, service to universal awakening. So it just really is amazing when you tell the universe, like when I come on here and I make a video and I say, I've worked through this issue, guys, I really feel like I'm beyond it. The universe always goes, oh, are you? Oh, really? And then it puts like one final test in front of me. And I've done that. This has happened on this, with me sharing, this has happened so many times. And and maybe you've felt this too, where you've maybe shared with someone, or you've even felt in your heart like, oh, I've moved beyond this, I'm at a new place. And then all of a sudden the universe sends you a massive test. Well, this has happened recently, and I just didn't quite have the awareness to get out in front of it, and I just kind of let my lower level cravings pull me. And what this creates is just kind of an energetic boo-boo, an energetic blockage in your being, and to where you're not able to fully embody who you really are, because what's happened is an old subconscious pattern has been activated. And when it's activated and it's active in your vibration and in your energetic field, it's gonna take you for a ride, maybe one last ride. And that's the beautiful part about when we've really cultivated awareness and we feel like we've worked through an issue, and then it resurfaces with more intensity than ever, and it just becomes so active in our field that it's just overwhelming and overpowering, and we just literally go for a ride. It's a beautiful teaching because it shows us, oh shit, I have outgrown this. I don't like how this feels at all, and I'm just like so fucking done with that, Like that is gone. That what I just went through again is like, oh, that is not, I've evolved beyond that. And so this last like little rendezvous with an activation of an old subconscious pattern is like just so powerful for us on a soul level, because it just shows us where we were and where we are now. And it shows us like that old pattern, how it just doesn't serve us anymore. But that's not, and the beautiful thing is being gentle with ourselves and saying, and being thankful, and actually thanking this pattern, saying, thank you for activating in my field so that I could see, that this is something that I've outgrown, and bless it, bless this pattern. I love you. Thank you for serving me. And that's a big one. Thank this old pattern, because it has got you to where you're at right now. And that's true for me too. So it's like, thank you for serving me. But, I'm not going to create with you anymore. And I hope, that you go on with love, and just kind of bless it and let it go in that way. It's not something where we need to become enemies with, the subconscious pattern or ourselves. We don't need to do more self-harm by judging ourselves for going into an activated subconscious pattern that we've outgrown. That's a big one that'll keep us hanging on to these patterns, is that self-judgment of, how could I have slipped into such negativity? How could I have slipped into such unconsciousness? Gosh, we have these temptations to really beat ourselves up on the spiritual path when we do things that we deem are less than. But the truth is, there are no real mistakes. There are no failures. It's just a beautiful path. It's so beautiful if you look at it, because it's always revealing to us where we're at and in relationship to where we were. And sometimes we really have to take that final like energetic blow. Like, you know, I've been really thrown out of alignment due to my, you know, falling, you know, into old subconscious patterns last night. But what I've noticed is my ability to recover is so much more fortified because of a longer lasting movement of alignment. And this is a really nice thing on the path, is the more we're acting in alignment for longer periods and the more we're letting go of these old pulls and these old dark patterns, you know, when we do slip off and fall, it's easier to pick ourselves back up and be like, okay, you know, I see what happened there. I got you, spirit. Loud and clear, lesson learned. I see that doesn't serve me anymore. It's not, you know, a lot of times the ego wants things, and it wants things that are out of alignment with our highest self, with our highest capacity for growth. So we indulge the ego from time to time, and we satisfy the ego's urge, but then we get to feel how out of alignment it is and how much it just sucks, truthfully, and how like much of the energetic dissonance it creates. So then we realize, oh shit, you know, that ego pattern, that old urge of mine, addiction, whatever it is, it's not worth it anymore. It's just not worth being out of alignment to satisfy that. It's like, yeah, I can go satisfy that, and that will feel good on one level, but the pain and the suffering it's going to create on the highest level of me being pulled out of my energetic alignment with source, with God, with giving, and all these things, it's just, the price is too steep. And as we ascend, as we go up the levels of consciousness, the price becomes just too heavy to pay to like start going out of alignment. And that's what you start realizing. You're like, oh, okay, that is not worth it anymore. These behaviors, you can't really justify it anymore, because when you've been in alignment for a while, and when you've been in service and allowing, you know, when you've been in surrender to the divine will, and when you've been surrendering your personal will and your free will, when you try to activate that again after you've been in a state of surrender, it can cause a lot of conflict inside of you, and you can really see why you wanted to surrender your personal will in the first place, because it's just kind of a circle. It's kind of, you're like chasing your tail when we're trying to act from personal will all the time. But when you surrender to the divine will and you really come to a place of not wanting anything, and you just let life come to you, and you just, you know, whatever comes to you when you're in your highest alignment, then that's beautiful, whatever you draw towards you. But it's when we start trying to veer off that course and try to go, but I want this thing, but to get this thing I have to go off of my highest course. And I have to really sacrifice my own energetic vibration to go get this thing, but that's okay because the pull is so strong, I just want it so bad. So we go get this thing. And then we realize that this thing, it doesn't satisfy us and doesn't feel like we thought it would. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh, but I liked it over there more because it felt so good and in alignment. So then we just kind of, you know, we let go of the thing that we thought was going to bring us happiness, because we realized, oh shit, I've done this before, and it always feels bad. And then when we just kind of go back to our highest alignment. And that's what this course is. We're just off on our highest alignment. Something pulls us off, a subconscious pattern, you know, a belief that we've outgrown. And we feel what that feels like to really suffer and to feel that pain of misalignment and from disconnection from source. And that's a beautiful thing, because that really pulls us back to wanting to be with source again, wanting to be in alignment again. So it's like a really beautiful, like energetic tight walk in a way, or like tightrope walk, where you but it doesn't have to be that scary or serious at all. You can just really flow through life and feel your way through it intuitively. And you can just know where certain desires are coming from. Are they coming from a higher place or a lower place? And sometimes you'll get a desire from a lower place and it'll just be too strong and you're gonna fall into it, and that's okay. The key is just to accept it as part of your path, and that you created that fall from grace for a reason, so that you could feel what it's like to not be in alignment, and just be gentle with yourself, love yourself, bless the old patterns, bless the old beliefs you've outgrown, and really just bring yourself back into alignment again. That's what this whole awakening thing is about, is just learning to love yourself even when you've fallen off the path, even when you've, done something you perceive as not good for you. That's okay. It's okay to feel what you're feeling. Your feelings are your guideposts. Your feelings are your guidepost back into alignment with the divine. So that's what I wanted to share today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the support. It is so beautiful to be in connection with all of you. And I will see you guys in the next video. Namaste.